Hi, good afternoon once again. We have seen earlier to this a comparable interface which helps us to come up with tree sets which accommodate elements which are the instances of user defined class. So let's try out one more interface which is there in Java, which is called as comparator. Comparator interface is for customized sorting of user-defined class objects. The method to be used for comparison of two objects is public int compare object 1 1 and object 2 based on any of the properties which are there with the object. So comparator interface, whenever this interface is implemented, you are supposed to override the method public int compare, which has two arguments, one object O1, the other object O2. Now let's take an example. Suppose there is a class employee. You need to process the list of employees based on year of joining. Now, this is the small class which is represented employee. It has got the name as string type, it has got employee ID as integer type, and it has got year of joining as integer type as well. So write the Java code for employee class with constructor and getter methods, where the class representation is as shown below in the diagram. See, this is how the class looks like. You have some package, say logic. In that you have written the employee class. You have got properties of the employee class defined first. Then you have got the getter methods. Then you have got the employee constructor with two arguments. The employee ID gets allotted automatically. You don't have to worry about it. Then you have got the toString method overridden, which gives employee ID, first name, and the year of join. So this is about the employee class. One difference which you should notice with respect to this interface and the comparable interface is that over here the employee class does not have the clause implements comparator. We are going to have a separate class which will implement comparator interface and see how we are going to use the instance of that class when we instantiate the tree set. Okay, so this is about the employee class. Now the next step is you have to create a separate class as the employee comparator, which has got a comparator interface implemented. Remember, comparator interface is a parameterized interface. It requires the class type for which you are going to override the method compare. So it is written after the implements word comparator in the angled bracket, I would say employee. Employee is the class type for which you are going to implement comparator. So the method which is to be overridden is compare. So public int compare, you have to compare two employees, E1 and E2. So two arguments based on what? Based on the year of joining. That is, if the year of joining of the first employee is less than the year of joining of the second employee, then -1 will be returned. Else, if the year of joining of the first employee is same as the year of joining of the second employee, then 0 will be written. Otherwise, a +1 will be written. That is, whenever the year of joining of the first employee is greater than the year of joining of the second employee. Okay, so this is the employee comparator class. It will just have the compare method overridden into it. So the logic package will have two classes, one as employee class and the other one as employee comparator class. Then the third step is you are going to write the comparator demo class or test comparator class or whatever you may call it. This class is going to have the main method. So the main method declares a tree set of employees. Look at the constructor which is used on the right hand side of the assignment operator. It is new tree set of employees. What is the argument given? The argument given is new employee comparator instance. So this new employee comparator instance triggers to sort the employees based on their year of joining. So following are the statements to add the employees into the employee list, which is film actors, then sorting the employees based on the year of joining. You will get when you will go across the for each loop meant for the employee list, which is film actor. So let's see what is the output which we do get. Do we get the sorting of the employees based on year of joining or not, or otherwise? So this is the output which we need to observe. Then going ahead, we'll see the code after we go through the entire PPT. Just 2 slides remaining. This is the one and one more. It is just a comparison of comparator interface versus the comparable interface based on the criteria, which is what is the package in which the comparable interface and the comparator interface are there in Java. One is in lang package and the other one is in the util package. Then based on the implementation, whether the implementation is built in certain classes for comparable interface or for comparator interface, that is just collecting everything together. So there are classes which have got inbuilt implementation of comparable interface, which are string and all the wrapper classes, which take care of the primitive data types as the arguments, and you get the respective class objects on the other side, integer, double, character, etc. Now for implementing the comparator interface, there is no such built-in class which is made available in Java which implements comparator interface on its own. No, it's not there. Now, which is the method which you should be overriding? Compared to is the method which you should be overriding in comparator class, and compare method is the method which you will be overriding in the comparator class. Which method is used for sorting, if at all? You have to sort the list which is having the elements which have comparable interface implemented, then it is collections.sort. And so far as the comparator interface is concerned, we will have collection.sort in bracket. It's a 2 argument sort list, and you need to have the reference to the comparator interface O1. So this is so far as the comparison within the 2 interfaces meant or incorporated for customized sorting of the list, comparator versus comparable. And now lastly, you have to try this exercise. In the earlier video which we saw for the comparable interface, there was a person class and the tree set as film actors was there in the test tree set class or tree set demo class. We found that we need to write person class implements comparable. Then only you will get the sorted element display of the tree set elements which you add as film actors into the tree set, otherwise not. So the same exercise you are going to try now, but with comparator interface. So the first is try the person class and the tree set film actors with comparator interface. This is the exercise. Step 1, create a person class, normal person class, which will have properties defined, then getter methods, then constructor, and then the toString method. Step 2, create person comparator class, which implements comparator in angle bracket person. So the class declaration is as shown below. And as step 3, you are supposed to write the test comparator class, which will have the main method, and in the main method you are going to add the persons in the tree set. Then you are going to display the persons. Only thing is that the tree set constructor which you are going to use will be having an instance of person comparator. Okay, this is the only care which you need to take, and try the exercise. Now I'll stop this walkthrough of the PPT and we'll switch to the code. Okay, this is the comparator demo. This is employee class. Three properties, three getter methods, the constructor and the toString. You have a separate employee comparator class. Public class employee comparator implements comparator in angle bracket employee. Remember, comparator is a generic interface, so you need to specify the element type. Here the element type is employee. Okay, so employee is the element type. You are going to override the method compare. So you need two arguments for it, employee E1, employee E2. You are going to compare the year of joining of first employee with the other employee, and then you will be accordingly returning either -1, 0 or 1. So this is so far as the employee comparator is concerned. When we run it, comparator demo is here. In the comparator demo, we have first created the empty tree set in the main method. See which constructor of tree set is used. Constructor of tree set which is used has got an instance of new employee comparator. Okay, now 3-4 employees are added into the film actor tree set. Then sorting is based on year of joining, and then we are just having a for each loop for navigating across each element of the tree set, and you are getting the printing of the elements. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, you'll find that the sorting is based on the year of joining. It is in the ascending order. Shah Rukh 1970, then Saif Ali 1980, Amir 1995, and Salman 2000. So based on the year of joining, how we have defined in the compare method, you have got the display of all the elements which are there in the tree set. Okay, that's it. What you can try out is you can try out displaying the employees based on the comparison of their employee IDs. That you can try out. In place of year of joining comparison, you will be doing the employee ID comparison, and based on that you will be displaying. Okay, thank you.